Friedrich, you gave us the scene setting. How do you comment this industrial best practice? Did you imagine that emerging industries could be like that also in food industry or in consultancy?
Well, I mean, absolutely. I think what I need to do is change my examples. I think. And I just need one example, actually. I mean, you started your speech by saying, well, we're a small Italian company, we're not very innovative, but I think you tick pretty much all the boxes that I used in my slides that were very happy in concepts, but I mean, you've perfectly understood the importance of design. I mean, there's a lot of design. You've understood the importance of the customer experience, which you really put at the forefront. And then also in terms of new business models for internationalization. I mean, this is what you're going through. A lot of other companies are going through. You have an innovative product. You put a new process in place, and suddenly, what do? The Chinese are coming, and you need to open 500 stores. So I'm sure there's an interesting story you have to tell about how this will continue.
Talk slower.
And I need to talk slower. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I thought Italians also speak very quickly, though. But from the translation perspective, I just want to add one final point, which is about timing. And the second presenter from Materialize, he mentioned that 3D printing has been around for 20-25 years. So this is not new technology, but why are we talking about it now? I think it's about, if you like, the stars being in alignment. I think the stars can be in alignment for a company when opportunities come knocking, but it's also for emerging industries when 3D printing combines with the social media, the rise of social networks. It combines with actually, there was also expiring patents last year that kind of released a lot of the restrictions. So I think when we talk about emerging industries, it's about being in the right place at the right time and then making the most of those opportunities.
Can I follow that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Again, industrial symbiosis like 3D printing has been around forever. My mother never threw anything out because her generation never wasted, right? But even though there were small models of industrial symbiosis in the US and in Europe, it took an innovator, our chief executive, to look at it and say, that's good, but I know how to make it better. And he ramped it up from 15 companies in a network in the US to 15,000 companies across the UK, and then has taken that across the world. Part of that was in response to those drivers that are changing now, and we heard a little bit about that today as well, which I thought was very important to recognize the risk, the cost, the materials. These are issues that are driving business now that weren't when we had cheap oil and cheap resources and mass production and ramp up. So that's changed. And I think the other thing that's coming to the fore now, which has been raised a number of times already today, is this idea of getting all the stakeholders. The Minister, Melazzini?
Yes.
He raised that as well, that innovation needs that cross-sector thinking. Now, that's not just cross-SIC codes, but cross-research, industry, public sector, innovators. And we get them all at the table, and that's when the magic happens for us.
That's true. Also, what would you add, Mr. Cesario?
Well, there is always an opportunity. Actually, when I told my wife, listen, I want to invest in gelato, knowing that in Italy there are 36,000 gelato parlors, 36,000, she told me very frankly, okay, this is the visit card of my lawyer. And I said, well, why is that? This time I behaved. I didn't feel guilty. But, again, there is a chance. Actually, in Italy, we think we do a lot of food in the right fashion. Mm-hmm. That's why in gelato, the worldwide players have got an Italian name, Häagen-Dazs, Ben & Jerry, and so on. In cafe, all right, or coffee whatsoever. Again, some names are Italian, like Costa Cafe, UK, okay? Like Starbucks, another Italian name. A third one is Caffè Nero, the real Italian experience, UK-based, UK-funded, UK-incorporated. Therefore, there are a lot of opportunities to exploit, and in the future, by introducing constant new products through constant research and development, keeping the eyes open, I believe there is a lot to be done. In whatever field we are acting, there is an opportunity. That's it. I don't have anything
And
else.
this opportunity can also be an engine of growth. Isn't that, Mr.
Yes.
Moracha?
Yes, absolutely. I want just to explain to the Italian scholars why Italian culture has a problem with the classical way to consider innovation. Because we are innovator for tradition. Siamo innovatori per tradizione. It's a little bit difficult to translate because for this reason we think many times that tradition and innovation are in opposition. And this is absolutely not true. So we have to start from our DNA, what I define the Italian factor, that is not the made in Italy. The Italian factor is a way to multiply the value that we have in our quality of life, but accepting the idea to challenge the world, exactly as Frankie does. So I think this is very important. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. I just wanted to share with you the idea that emerging industry has a lot to do also with the circular economy. So thank you very much, Rachel, for pointing that to our attention. Because circular economy really remembers us that economy is not really linear, but it should be more and more a circle. And the products should not come from cradle to the grave, but they should go from cradle to cradle. And we should recycle and restart again and reuse that again. Do you think, just 1 minute, do you think that also economic growth of European region can be, and of also other industries and other economies as well, can be driven also by circular economy?
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing the innovation that goes into the new materials and new products is creating new enterprises and new jobs all the time. So it is very much moving and creating jobs and changing the mindset. And it's not a should, it's a must. We don't have a choice now. That context that's around us is quite clear. We have to do this change, and it's got to be a crisis.
And emerging industries can create jobs or green jobs? In your opinion, just one last minute.
I mean, yes, absolutely. I think, to be honest, emerging industries will destroy some jobs, but will create other jobs. I think in the context of the circular economy, what you said, the economics have to be right as well. So this is about, ultimately, companies are there to produce value for their customers, for their shareholders. So if they can produce value, whilst at the same time, doing something that's sustainable and beneficial to the environment, then you have this kind of virtuous circle. But just one final point is that, sometimes the issue is access to finance. It's about financing particular investments in green technology, where the right instruments might not be in place, or the right mechanisms that allow companies to invest for the long term. So there's something that potentially could be done, some gaps that could be filled to make the economics right for SMEs in particular.
So I think we can stop here. I just remember you that we have the visit to Belvedere on floor 39, if you wish. Then we will have a conference dinner at 8:30 at the first floor. And then tomorrow we will be here sharp at 9 a.m. and we won't have any politician guys, so we will be really sharp. And so Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for contributing to the conference, and see you later. Thank you.